Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the webinar this morning. I'm sure a few people will still be trickling in. Just a couple things as we get started. My name's Jack from Clear Estimates. You probably get some emails from me about the webinar itself, so thank you for signing up. Hopefully this is going to be informative for you. Our speaker today is going to be Wyatt Knight, and he'll do an introduction in just a minute here. Just a few kind of administrative notes. We will have the question and answer towards the end. So if you have questions, feel free to add them into the chat. I'll try to take note of them, and we can take those at the end. If they are regarding something specific that's going on, on the screen at the moment, we'll also try to get to them as we go. Excuse me. There will be a recording available after the webinar for the entire webinar. So if you want to be able to view the recording, that should come out just about a few hours after, so we just have to process the recording. If you're having any problems, you may want to try closing out other programs on your computer. Try connecting with Google Chrome instead of Internet Explorer, Safari, or Firefox. And it'll work better if you're not on a mobile device, so your computer or laptop is your best bet. And if you can close out other windows, that's just your best way to get kind of the best view. So we'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, my name is Jack. You've probably got a lot of emails from me. I'm with Clear Estimates. If you have any questions after the webinar, you're more than welcome to send me an email, and I will be more than happy to help out. And now we are going to take a quick intro from the owner of Clear Estimates, Nolan. So we'll just take a look at that, and then I'll hand it over to Wyatt, and we'll get started.
Hey there, everybody. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Again, as Jack and both Nolan said, my name is Wyatt Knight. Really glad that you guys could join us today. And we've been talking for a few months about this actually with Jack and Nolan, and kind of putting together this webinar, because I've found that over the past few years that I've used the software. It's, as I learned the software and as I've done other types of estimating, I've really found the value in Clear Estimates. However, every time I've talked with different software engineers or people on training, they always kind of come to you from their perspective. And so I really wanted to, put together this webinar today, in combination with Clear Estimates, and kind of bring you guys estimating training from the standpoint of the guys wearing the tool bags. So to kind of tell you a little bit about my history, I've been in the construction industry for close to 27 years. Started really young when I was tagging along with my dad, and then from there worked my way up through the ranks for other different contractors, and then actually started my own company at 17 years old. And at that point, I ran my construction company for 17 years. And, at its peak, in 2007, before the old housing meltdown and the financial collapse, I had 21 employees, and we were doing a couple $1 million a year in revenue. And I was the only estimator, the sales guy, and for my company. So I know how to do this. This is I've definitely came a long ways from doing it on a notepad. What I call just the yellow legal pad method years ago, to expanding from there at that point to using Excel, now using software that really systematizes the whole process. And that's really what I hope to show you guys today is a few different things, but mainly some of the stuff we're going to cover. I want to show you a bunch of different things. I want to show you not only how to use clear estimates, but also how to look at this project. We all know we've estimated kitchen remodels before. We've estimated bathrooms and basements, all kinds of projects. But today I hope to be able to show you a visual, live way that we're going to say, okay, look at here's this kitchen. These customers, these homeowners want to tear this kitchen out. Here's how many lineal foot of this cabinets we need to remove. Here's how many square foot of flooring. Here's all the unit costing. So in the process of that, I also want to talk a little bit about how sales, marketing and sales, my marketing and sales process for that matter, rolls right into my estimating process, and how my estimating, the systems and tools that I use to estimate, roll right into the project management side. And to me, that's really needs to be one smooth operating machine. And I hope to show you just kind of a snapshot. We're going to spend most of the time, actually doing the estimate today once we get started here. But I hope to show you kind of a snapshot of the whole process of how I do things. So again, some of the stuff I hope to cover today is all intertwined with that, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But the sorry, just working on my technical side here. All right. So what we're looking at here, is this is clear estimates. And for most of you, I'm assuming, you've probably at least dabbled with it. You've probably used it to create an estimate or two. Maybe you're using it quite extensively. It's hard to say. There's definitely people that are really looking for a solution. And I know what I've found is I've literally tried probably close to half a dozen, if not 7 or 8 different estimating tools, whether they're downloadable or cloud-based or Excel templates that I've created myself. And what I've really found is that, each one of them definitely has its good points and bad points. And the thing about that is that this is such a robust process. There's so much to what we do that your estimating program really needs to be quite complex. And I've just found that most of them, they just fall short. And the reason I've partnered with Clear Estimates here to start creating these trainings is because I believe in it. And I believe in it from a standpoint that I use it on a regular basis, and I actually coach my clients on how to use it and how to use it effectively. So I hope we can show you a few things today. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump right into it. And one more thing though, this software, it is cloud-based, but it's also unit costs. So we're actually, to help you understand that, we're pricing by the lineal footage, by the piece, by the square footage. So there's multiple different methods of estimating, but I'm not going to get into that. So to kind of jump right in and dig in a little bit, if you're just starting out with the software, you'll want to go in and you'll actually want to set up your company. And I'm not going to show you how to do all of that, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. But if you need help with that, Jack is glad to help you guys get your account set up, get you using it, as well as some of the stuff that I show you today. I'm happy to provide a few things for you guys and maybe help you guys get some of the templates and parts and things like that built out that are customized to your company. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll through. I've created a fictitious customer. I always use John and Mary homeowner as my fictitious customer, and I'm just going to load a project. We're going to look at this from a couple different standpoints. You can see I've got 3 different jobs for this client here. I'm going to load this component job first and just kind of show you that method. And the reason I want to show you that is because the system actually allows you to create an estimate with components and alternates. So how that works is you think about the sequence of your project. You're going to go out, and if you do offer design, that is one thing I'll touch base a little bit on today, as I'm going to be showing you some design stuff. But there's obviously, you're going to have to get a permit. And then once you get the permit and you've got the contract on the job, then you're going to go start the demolition, and then from there, so I can just show you, you can create a sequential components to the project. So if we wanted to just go add another component here to the project, I can quickly name that component. So what's going to be next after demo? Maybe it'll be electrical and plumbing rough-in.
Hey Wyatt, would you mind
Yeah.
zooming in on your Chrome just one more click, just to make
Yeah.
it a little bit easier to see? Thanks.
Is that a little better?
Yeah, I think that should help.
All right, perfect. So then we can save that component, and then easily just jump in and start adding what we call parts. So inside of this component, we'll add quickly add a part, and we'll jump in here. And Clear Estimates has a database, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, about Clear Estimates uses Remodel Max's database. So it's just a very vast and robust remodeling database. So if we jump in here, here's all the different project. So we're past demolition, so we're probably going to move on to, like I said, plumbing and electrical. So we'll go right down here to kitchen and bathroom plumbing, and we'll look up some of the parts. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but we know we're going to be installing, the disposal. So labor for disposal rough-in, so we can go over here. We know it's only one. We can add that part, and it's going to add the cost, the labor and the material. Now, these costs might not be exactly precise for you, but they're very accurate, and you can actually adjust them based on your location, which we can discuss further. But I'm not going to go too far into this, and I do want to show you how we can customize a part real quick. So this is a pre-populated part within the software. If I want to go in and actually customize that part, and let's just say I want to just change the cost of it a little bit, I can go here and make it $63 instead of that, and I think it's going to take more than 5 hours. Let's say it's going to take 7 hours, and you can see that's going to pre-populate those numbers over here, the total labor costs. You can change the text, edit the text, here, and however you want. You can change it out and delete it, add text, whatever it is you want. So it's very, very easy. It's very customizable. There's even these parts here, they do pre-populated textual information. So that's really just a quick snapshot of adding a part. So I'm going to just close that out real quick and kind of move on, because I don't want to spend a ton of time on that, because there's 101 million different parts when it comes to a construction project. But what I want to do, I just wanted to show you, if you build your estimate in a sequential order, it will produce what the software calls a report, but it will produce your project specifications, so it is listed the way you'll build it. So that's really important. You got to think about that, because when you produce this, your specifications, then it's literally going to lay out the project just like you would tell the customer how you're going to build it. So again, one other feature here real quick is you can add an alternative. Let's say the homeowner was thinking of replacing that door that's next to the refrigerator but wasn't sure about it, and you could just add that as an alternate, and then they can choose that or not. And so that's, again, that's the same thing. You can add a part to it, and then it just becomes an alternate, and they get to accept it or not. So I won't go into that. I want to kind of move on and really show you the nuts and bolts of this. So, let me go back to, we'll move on to the next job. So that's kind of how I do a component-based estimate. Now I'm going to move into, and I'm actually going to show you, this is a pre-populated template. Clear Estimates actually comes with many, many templates for bathroom remodels, for kitchen remodels, for basements, there's all kinds of templates in the system, which you'll see here momentarily. And so I've got a new project. There's nothing in this project as far as components or alternates. This is a brand new project I just loaded for the customer. And I'm just going to go up to here and click on Add Templates. And I'm going to show you how simple it is to create a kitchen remodel template. So scroll, you can see these are all the templates. Average bathroom remodel, average economy, premium. And here's the kitchen ones that I've actually custom made. But if you look, where's that? Right down here, it's alphabetical. There's all these kitchen remodel, average grade, economy grade, premium grade. So we can go just like this. This one is actually Clear Estimate, is provided by Clear Estimate. So I'm going to jump back to, before I do this, I want to jump back and show you the project itself, because that's where all the numbers come from. So before we start creating an estimate, we actually got to go out to the job and look. So here you can see, here's our kitchen remodel. This is what I call, from a design point, I call this the as-built. And so when I go out and do a bid on a kitchen remodel, my sales process kind of takes me through, it's very extensive, of what I actually do and how I communicate with the customer before I ever even go out to the job site. They're pre-qualified with my marketing. They become a pre-qualified lead, and then once they actually start talking to me, then I actually go put them through a whole complete sales process where I have a call interview script where I'm just gathering information. And that's not, it's yes, it's getting information on the project and the customer, but it's also making sure that they're a good fit for for my company. I don't necessarily want to work with every customer or necessarily want to do every type of job. So I get that information from them, in the first phone call, and then I've got some follow-up email sequences that I'm sending them information on both myself, my company, and my process. So what happens when I get to that job is I go out there, and that customer already knows that I'm professional, that I stand apart from the rest of the competition because of the way I've handled myself, and just the emails that I've sent to them, and the templates and the things that I've sent. So in that one of the emails that I send out a copy of my design agreement, because to really technically, this is a pretty simple project, but let's say they're demoing a wall or doing something kind of extensive, you really want to get a design agreement. And we can talk more about that if we get offline, if you guys are interested, but that process. So what I'd come out and measure this kitchen, and in that process, in that first meeting, and I take a look at the floor plan here. And obviously we're not on site today, but we can, we would know, all right, we've got this many lineal foot, so there's 8.5 foot of cabinets there, so there's another, what is this, 9 feet, so there's 17 feet of base cabinets there, and there's another 5 feet over here, if I remember right. So there, you take out the dishwasher and the range, and you end up with 20 feet of cabinets. So then that's the number that goes into your your estimate, and you just start taking that information down. So from a standpoint, I have all this data because it's in my design program. Now this kitchen is a 200 square foot kitchen. The reason I did this this design model, and the reason we're doing this major kitchen remodel, is because Clear Estimates actually uses Remodel Max database, which I talked about before. And just to make you familiar, one of the things I do in that first meeting is I actually use this cost versus value. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but this is a public site. You can go, you can all find it at Remodeling HQ. In fact, I'll try to share this in the chat window for everyone. Let's see here real quick and add that there. Everybody go to that and see this. You can use this, and I'll show you how I use this, because you need to establish a budget with your customer. But how this works is, you can see there's regions you can click into. I'm located right here, right there where my mouse is, in northern Minnesota. So if I clicked on that, it would just open up this page here, and you'd see it's broken down by region. Now, I'm not going to get into what this actually is, but it's a very, very useful tool for establishing budget. And it's a non-biased tool that I use, which does a couple things. It helps you establish your budget, but it also price conditions your customer. So if you want more information on this, I'm happy to show you. But what I do, you can see this is all public knowledge that Remodeling Magazine and Realtor.com have got together. They survey 2,700 different across the nation every year, and they create these projects. So what I do with my customers is I actually use this little Excel sheet that I've got here, and it's got those same projects with my local pricing right here. So now when I come out, I can just say, you're thinking about doing a kitchen remodel. Well, I can just literally just click this and turn it off or turn it on. And you can see right now it's nothing, but if they're thinking, well, we wanted to remodel our bathroom and our basement. So we were thinking of doing our bathroom, we're doing the kitchen, and we wanted to do the basement too, you know? And what that does is, so here's the basement remodel, and there's actually projects you can dive in, you can actually show them. But see, this is a quick little tool that I use to say, I'm sorry, but if your budget's 50,000, I mean, that's just not realistic. But here's an example, of, oops, excuse me here. Let me get to the next screen. Here's an example of that project. So if you want to just take a look, any of those projects, you can click right in here and use this website. And actually, if anybody's interested in this Excel sheet that I use, I'd be happy to share that with everyone, and even train you on how to use it. But for example, here's this example kitchen remodel. Okay, so this is exactly, well, I'm not going to say exactly. This is very close to what I've created and I'm showing you today. So here's the existing. All right, and here's the after. It's got the new appliances, the island, all new cabinets, so on and so forth.
Wyatt, if you
So,
can zoom in on this screen as well, it might make it easier to see here as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Hopefully that's a little better. Oh, did it go back? So anyways, these images are provided by not Clear Estimates, by remodeling.com, Remodeling Magazine. All right. So I use this tool. Now there's a reason that I'm showing you this. Yes, this is my process, but on the other hand, all those numbers for that cost versus value site came from Remodel Max database. And Clear Estimates uses Remodel Max database. So I just say, hey, John and Mary homeowner, here's a perfect example. This is not my numbers. These are just national industry standard numbers for kitchen remodels. And it's actually broken down into our area here in Duluth. So then I know that, and I actually use the same software that was used to create these. So, my pricing is going to be very equivalent. But, if you look through those numbers, you will see that that's what we should be getting paid to do jobs, you know. So let's jump in. So now going back to the my design that I created for you, you can see it's pretty close to what you saw on cost versus value site. All right. Now, I've already done this ahead of time just for the sake of saving time, but I know how many lineal foot of cabinets there are to remove, and I know how much the linoleum there is, and I know everything I need to do on this job. So I actually created a template, but let me go back to that and I'll show you the how that works in Clear Estimates. So now I know that that room is 200 square feet. All right. So if we just punch in 200 square feet into this template and we click calculate quantities, it populates all the quantities and it's going to generate us. And I always do it as a component. It just makes it easier to deal with later on. And then you can click add to template and you can jump in. Now that's populating that template with those quantities in that project folder. So if I want to go in, now I want to open up this template or this component within this estimate, and look, all those quantities, removed drywall. Now again, this isn't the exact project we're talking about today, but this is a pre-populated template that everybody that has an account with Clear Estimates has access to. So all those numbers pre-populate for this kitchen remodel based on that square footage number that I entered in. You know, so now I can come in here and I can open up, and if I want to change, well, let's say we're not going to actually remove any drywall, I can just delete that portion. That's not part of it, you know. So we're not going to remove any drywall on the ceiling either. So I'll take that part of it, you know, out of there. And you can see the prices adjusting as that stuff gets removed, you know, then it keeps adjusting. Or if I want to add something, I can simply add something to this template. And I mean, it's really that simple. So before I get too heavy into this one, I really want to show you guys the actual estimate that we're talking about today, so we can really make sure everybody has a good idea of what we're talking about. So,
and before you do that, Wyatt, I think when you go back to the Clear Estimates, if you can zoom in one more as well, that might make it a little clearer as well. Thanks.
Will do. And so here's the existing, you know, again, what I call the as-built. So you go out to the job, you know, you've got to measure the room, it's the lineal footage of cabinets, the wall cabinets, the full height cabinets. You know, you're going to have how many lineal foot of trim, all of those numbers, you know. So what I've done is I've created the new project. So here's the existing floor plan, and then here is the new floor plan. A whole lot really hasn't changed. Actually, I don't see I might need to open a different file here because it's not showing the, never mind. I had the island drawn here yesterday. I must have opened the wrong file. Well, we can quickly fix that. That's not a big deal. But so you know that this new project is basically, it's more or less the same project. It just has new cabinets, a little bit different layout, and you know, it's got a 3x5, I believe, cabinet that has, I'll just open that up real quick and change that cabinet. But so it's, you know, so anyways, this will give us a better look at this project. So we know that this is the more of the actual project here. So now if we're looking at that, you're going to see that island cabinet that's in there. You know, so we know that this is based on my design process that I've done with the client, we know that this is the project they want to build. They want all new cabinets, and they're really not sure at this point, you know, do we want raised panel doors? Do we want flat panel doors? Do we want arch tops? so on and so forth. But they may be interested in crown molding, and they know they want some new appliances and new flooring and new paint and some new light fixtures, so on and so forth. All right. So if we jump in, we're looking at that. The program I use for design, you can see the capability of it here, what it can design. And then one thing I really love about it is I use it and it generates me a material list. So I know the cabinets, I know how many lineal foot of trim, I know all my appliances, my electrical, my flooring, square footages. It does all that. I'm not really going to get into that. However, so let's jump back to the cost versus value site real quick. And you can see, there's this project, right? So cost versus value shows this pretty much this exact remodel project. And it shows that the cost, is based on the local region is actually $60,000, right? So that's more realistic. If the client's got a $50,000 budget, you say this is more realistic. You may just need to choose, a lesser cabinet or, cheaper flooring, right? So now when we go back into clear estimates, I've got some templates that I created that now I sell certain products, because I'm regional, and I also you wanted this zoomed in one more time, I think, Jack. Let's see here. There we go.
Yeah.
So
thanks.
I'm going to go back to, we're going to create a new template based on that project. So let's go here. So that was, I just showed you. So we're going to create a template or a job based on the template that I've already created. Now, I want to show you the detail that you can get with clear estimates. So now, obviously, I've done some work on the back end prior to today to be able to show you guys this, but I can assure you that it's very easy. And once you get your templates set up, customized to your business, you can reuse them over and over again and easily customize them. All right. So look at right here, updated, outmoded, 200 square foot kitchen. This is basically the description of that cost versus value major kitchen remodel project. All right. So now this has got all the different items in here. All I have to do to populate a template, so I could literally do this with the customer right on site and show them, boom, click right there. It's going to populate all the numbers into this template. And then I'm just going to add this template to the job. And just like that, I have an estimate. Well, at this point, really all I have is project specifications. So you can see right here, I've got my design, my plans, my permit costs. I've got removing the resilient flooring. It's the kitchen is 200 square feet, but because of the multiplier that I entered into this template, it actually makes it 166 feet. Well, if you look within, let's go right back here to, if we look here, let me show you one thing, because that the kitchen is 200 square feet, right? It's 14 by 14.6. And what we do know is that the cabinets, we're not going to put flooring under cabinets, at least not for the most part. Most people don't, at least I don't. Why? It's a waste of flooring. So now what you're looking at there is in this shaded area, that's where you, underneath where the existing stove is, underneath the dishwasher, where the fridge is. So you look, we click on this, and I can open this up, and it'll tell me the actual square footage of it right within my design. So if you look, see, area, 164 square feet. Okay, so we know that's our flooring area for the remodel. And I'll jump back in, and we'll see how close we got with that template. Well, it was pretty close, 164, 166. We might need a couple extra square foot of flooring. So anyways, so you can see this template completely populates based on what I've done previously. Now, if something changes, I can go in here and edit any one of these existing parts within the template however I want and add something to it, and even customize it, which I like to do for actual manufacturer's information and so on. So what I want to do is I want to show you another process, and I'm kind of giving you the 50,000 or 30,000 foot view of this, how the software works, because it's really quite simple. And if you know that it can do all this, you'll actually start using it and start building out your templates. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you, once you've got it set up properly, the thing that I love about this, the Clear Estimates, is it gives me all my labor costs, material costs, and it actually calculates the man hours. Because that's what you're going to pay for pay for the your labor cost is going to be calculated in man hours. That's the guys you pay, other than maybe subs. So that's the project. Now, if your company has, let's say, maybe less overhead, and that's a whole nother conversation, establishing what your margins need to be, which I can help you with that if you're interested. But if you know what your overhead is, you should be able to establish what your margins are, and then you should be able to calculate your markup for labor materials and when creating an estimate. An industry standard is literally 50%. I know some guys might not buy into that, but I know companies that I work with that literally charge up to 75% markup. So you can see our total job costs, labor and materials, is $40,000. Well, a little over. You add the 50% markup on labor materials, our total out the door cost is $60,648.71. I can change that, just right here. If I want to go up, let's say it doesn't, 50% isn't enough, I want to go to 60, it's going to change that number right over here. You can see it adjusted it, and I can do that, by manually changing it there, or I can go just plus or minus. It's pretty easy, but I'm going to go back to 50 just so we keep it there, keep nice even numbers, and keep everything the same. So, and there we have this job. So one thing that I love about this estimate is I can literally create an estimate, is exactly what this is, and I can do this for a client when I'm on site. This project doesn't necessarily require design and all of that stuff, but that's the process we like to take our clients through, because we like to provide them a more involved and more detail-oriented process. So, and I'll show you why in a little bit here. But look at what this can do now. So it's created all these project specifications, and I can jump right up here and save this project, and then I can go up to reports, because I wouldn't, it booted me out of there. Got too many windows open, I think. So anyways, I can jump right up into reports on this project, and there's another aspect of the system is you can customize, which I've already done. I'll show you the boilerplate portion of this, but you can do a preliminary report, which is just an estimate, and you can do a formal, which I consider my proposal. So if you want to just show them an estimate, you can, but you can also just generate a contract. So I'll quickly show you how you can take the terms and specifications that you use for your company and enter them right in here. And the system uses what's known as an intro and outro. So basically that's kind of a before and after the project specifications. And the project specifications are what we just created with that template. So I've got what I just call my home remodeling contract, right? So as soon as I click on that, boom, you can see I've added all this text, and I'm here in Minnesota, and the contract I use is a form, a portion of the BAM, which is the Building Association of Minnesota. They've got attorneys that have created and worked on these contracts for our contractors for years. Again, I'm not a contractor, just so everybody knows. I'm actually a consultant and a project designer, but I use and produce these contracts for my clients who are contractors. So you can see I populated this information in here, or pre-populated this information in here. And then I've got some other ones, some accepted terms, and my plans and drawings are usually part of a contract. And then there's the project specification portion of it. And then the outro, there is here in Minnesota, we need to provide clients with performance guidelines and lien waiver information and other things. So that being said, I'm going to just show you how quick it is to, once you have this stuff set up within your account, how quickly you can create a proposal. Now, this would be an actual proposal that I can do it to PDF or Word, depending on how I want to present it. But I'm just going to go and produce a PDF real quick, just so I can show you with a click of a button. Once you've got this stuff set up, you can submit this very detailed proposal for signature. You know, it's got all the homeowner's information populates, your company name populates, all the terms, which are pretty much going to be the same for every contract. You know, that it's how you handle things. And then it automatically populates the price where it needs to be, you know, and this is a detailed contract, you know, but it's, guess what? It creates all the terms. And then once we're done, if we can get to the bottom of this, there's quite a few pages of terms. You know, I always make my clients sign off on the terms, and then look what it does. It adds the project specifications.
Wyatt, can you zoom in on the PDF there?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Apologize.
No worries.
I got a big giant monitor on my end, guys, so everything looks plenty big for me. So I apologize if that's not.
A little more, I think, would help.
There we go. How's that?
Perfect. Thanks.
You know, you can see this was here. Let me go back to where we at. So it's just boilerplate, because boilerplate, what that means is it's something that's going to be the same for every project or every contract. The only thing that's going to change is, you know, project information, such as client name and project specifications. Now that template that we put into the estimating software for that job, you can remember the one, it was named, that's the name of it, which you can take that out of there if you want and adjust that however you want. But it adds all, basically it tells the homeowner everything we're going to do. Okay, we're gonna, you know, do the design, the appliances, you know, that we're gonna provide, the plans and drawings, the permits, we're gonna get the permit, prepare and present application to obtain necessary permits. You know, then it gets into the phases of the project. You know, the demolition says exactly what we're going to do. We're going to remove this 166 square foot of flooring, cabinets, base cabinets, wall cabinets, full height cabinets, so on and so forth. You know, and this is detailed stuff. And the reason this is so important is because this, a lot of guys, and I'm not picking on anybody, you know, in particular, but I work with quite a few contractors, and I'm going to raise my hand right now and tell you that I'm guilty too. I used to do this, you know, before I knew better. And the reason I'm so passionate about working with contractors and helping other guys do this is because I've gotten my degree at the University of Hard Knocks, if you know what I mean. I've made all the mistakes that you could possibly make, you know, had legal battles, you know, been in court, had to, you know, sue clients to get paid, you know, and a lot of it comes down to the communication that you have. This right here, this contract and these project specifications are communicating precisely what you're going to be providing for them. So there'll never be any dispute of what they're paying for, you know, and if they want something extra, guess what? Now a change order doesn't become an issue, because they thought that when you were selling them the job, you told them about this other thing that you could have done for them. Let's say that changing out the door that we discussed earlier, but they thought that was included, even though it's not listed here. You know, now you can say, sorry, John and Mary, that's this. You may have been under that impression, but this is what we agreed to. You know, if you'd like that, here's the cost and here's the change order. So, you know, here's that report, is what the software calls it, but here's what I consider, it's just a proposal. So I can literally get my clients to sign that right there, right on site. So going back to Clear Estimates, you can see there's how quick and easy it is. Now, if you want to change something right on site, open it. It'll download it for you as a Word doc, and you can edit it right there. So you don't have to go back and change something within the software if you don't want to. Now something you want to make sure you're aware of is Clear Estimates is cloud-based. Most of us are going to be working in or around a larger city where internet access, as far as having your cell phone or a tablet that's got internet or Wi-Fi, you're going to be able to do it. Here in Duluth, you get a couple 20, 15 miles out of town, and you're losing cell service. So you need to keep that in mind, that if you're wanting to do estimates on site. So I'm going to go back and let me see if I've covered everything here. I believe I have. I'm going to go back to the actual project now, and I want to show you how I've customized this project even further, and I'll try to spend a little bit more time on that to show you that. But I'm going to load one more project here, and then I'm going to show you how that project varies from this one. So this is a pre-populated template that I've actually gave the homeowner. This is actual flooring, manufacturer's flooring that I'm speccing out, actual appliances, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and add that other template. You can see here, I've got to go here again and choose which template I want to use. And I've already created the template, which I cannot stress to you guys enough how valuable, spend some time and create your templates customized for your company, and they will pay for themselves tenfold. I mean, for years and years and years, I did it on a notepad where I was calculating things over and over again. Then I started using Excel, where I could reuse things, but I still had to manually enter everything for the most part. But now, with these templates and software, the cloud-based software, it's always at my fingertips wherever I go, and it's pretty incredible. So this one, again, is a little bit more robust. It's actually got medallion cabinets. Let's see if I can go down here. So you can see, get past there, medallion cabinets, JennAir appliances, so on and so forth. So again, this project has everything built into it that is just kind of a higher end. And one more thing before I move on from this that I want to show you is a phenomenal tool that most estimating softwares just do not provide. Is I love the fact that it shows me the hours right here per part, per aspect of the job, total hours. You can break that down by component. But look what the software will do. Now, again, you've got to set this up, customize this for your company. But look what the software will do. Because there's cost codes, and you can add those cost codes. I literally now know that my project design is going to take me 64 hours. That's just my estimate. It's going to take, to actually create the plans, 33 hours, building permits, demolition. I've got 20 hours in demolition, electrical rough-in, 11 hours. You can see, cabinets, is installation. You can see it populates all those hours. So what I use that for is I take this information from this project, this job, and I produce the estimate, and I show the client that, from a sales standpoint, I use another tool. It's a project management tool, and I pull that information right into the job schedule. So you can see here, design process plans, demo, electrical rough-in, this is what's known as a Gantt chart. So this is great for communicating with your subs, your employees, your client. But I use this as a sales tool also because, excuse me, I show the clients, so, sign up right now. If we can move forward and, we'll get you on the schedule, we'll lock you in right now. We'll get the plans created if that's what we're doing, and get the permit. And then we'll get you locked in for a start date of, April, the third week of April, or the first week of April, I mean. And you can see all that stuff sequentially goes in there. And all that data was pulled directly from clear estimates. So it's a very, very powerful tool that I use that leads right into other aspects of running a company. Now, another thing that I do with that is all of those manufacturer specifications that I showed you, they're right here. Here's all the cabinets, and I can make my client actually make a choice. So, and a selections choice. So I'm going to just show you those appliances because that's a little bit easier one to. So now they can come in, the client can come in and actually view these appliances, know that the budget is there, approve them or decline it, and make my selections choices. So there's never any disagreement on that aspect of the project. So it's just very robust what you can do with it, the software, and I can't stress to you guys enough that it's so customizable. Yes, it does take a little time to get it customized exactly and precisely to your company, but the biggest benefit of it is that it comes preloaded with this very, very robust database, and that database can be adjusted to your region. And you can actually adjust your labor hours. So if you charge, you charge, I'm not going to go into how we do that just now, but I know that, contractors, they charge a certain hourly rate. Everybody's different. You pay your laborer $15 an hour and your carpenter's 25 or 20, whatever that number is. And then your markup, you pay the work comp and the overhead of paying your employees. You can adjust that precisely in here if you want. Or what I always recommend to do is I literally just pick the highest labor amount, your highest guy, and just go with that for all of them. And it's just makes it simpler. But if you look at, this estimate, is very robust. The project specifications are very detailed, and the benefits of this tool are kind of endless, because if you can utilize this tool to create an estimate, that's one benefit. You utilize this to create those project specifications. You can use those specifications as part of your contract. I showed you how the software will actually produce that contract once you get it set up, just with a click of a button. And then these specifications that the software creates for you based on the estimate, the job that you created, make your contract more legal. They make sure that you're not paying for anything that the client thought was included, and maybe even you forgot something, so then, I kind of feel that, I'm on the honor system. I give homeowners one price and that's it. If I forgot something, it's on me, unless it's really big. But if it's something unforeseen that I couldn't have calculated, then that's going to become a change order. But in addition to that, if you guys, you're interested in getting more training and kind of really digging into and customizing the program for your business, I'd be happy to help anybody that's interested and really just build out some templates. Maybe you do basement remodels. That's actually going to be next month. We're going to be sending out some invites to the next upcoming webinar, and that one is going to be more so on a complete basement remodel. Taking an unfinished basement and building out bedrooms, bathroom, family room, and so a storage utility room. So a little bit more robust than this, and I'll have some before and after designs like I showed you here. And so let me get back to the visual aspect of that. But the nice thing about this tool is, we can all see it, and I can get into. We're going to send out a survey after this webinar, and we want to know from you, what is it that you're struggling with the most? And I know we're running out of time here, but if you guys want to stick on, I'm gonna share a couple more things with you that I can provide in a follow-up email if you guys are interested. So the upcoming webinars, we want to know, what do you guys want to see? So let us know. And if what do you tell us what you're struggling with, we'll try to focus on that. I know this one I didn't really get too far into the nuts and bolts of what clear estimates can do, but I certainly would like to do that more so, and we may just have to just customize our upcoming webinars to fit what you guys are looking for. So some of the things that we discussed today, you know, obviously is just all the different aspects of what clear estimates can do. You know, the software, it's very robust. It's cloud-based, so it's literally, you can do an estimate on your smartphone. It's a little tough because it's such a small screen, but you can. And I have adjusted. I haven't created whole estimates, but I've adjusted estimates on my smartphone. It's much easier on a tablet or a laptop, you know, for that matter, with, you know, with internet access. But so that's one thing. The details, you know, that it does. But one thing that I could really help you guys with, you know, and I know you've got my commitment, and Jack and Nolan from Clear Estimates, we're going to keep producing these webinars as long as you guys keep showing up. And we want to customize the webinars around you. So tell us what you want and what you want to see and what you'd like to learn. But on the other hand, you know, some of the stuff that I'd love to be able to help you guys with, because I know I've been in the trenches. I've been out there. I've undersold jobs. I've got into disputes with clients because the contract wasn't quite right, or the specifications weren't detailed enough. You know, all of those things. I've done that. I've been there, and I've been through court, and I've won some cases. I've lost some. You know, I really have. I've been to the school of hard knocks. You know, and so some of the stuff that I can help you guys with is, let me know. Are you guys tired of giving free estimates? As I know I was, and I don't anymore. I absolutely do not provide free estimates. And if you want some sales processes and systems and some tools of how to never give another free estimate, and some other things about how you can actually utilize this software, Clear Estimate software, to create more legal, you know, a fixed price proposal and more detailed specifications, and actually use that as a sales tool, because most companies just aren't doing that. You know, I literally was out on a job just about a month and a half ago, I guess, and the contractor, which was not a client of mine, I did the design for the client, and then they had it was a $500,000 addition for a 10-unit senior care facility. The contractor had a 3-page proposal. You know, that may work for some people. And he assured those clients that he's been doing this for years and it wouldn't be a problem, and that this was included and that was included. And then there was these allowances and all this stuff, you know, and I really hate to do that, but I tried to talk to the gentleman and say, hey, you need to do this in more details. Well, and I warned the client as well that this is heading down a path that you don't want to go. And I've just been in communication with them, and they're over budget. He's hitting them up for change orders, which shame on him for doing that. He should have properly estimated the job ahead of time. But on the other hand, you know, that's the bar. You know, you don't have to do a whole lot to separate yourself from other contractors. And I can help you get set up with some of these tools, the software, these systems and templates, to where you'll no longer provide free estimates. You'll eliminate your competition by providing your clients this detailed process of how you go through and create an estimate, the process of presenting that estimate, you know, and the whole meeting protocol of what you do when you meet with them, and then how you take the project from an estimate to an actual project. So there's quite a bit, you know, that when it comes down to it, you know, you never know how accurate you're estimating a job unless you're doing job costings. So it's such an important thing to do, because you can jump into Clear Estimates today, go create a kitchen remodel estimate with pre-populated templates, go out, get the job, do the job. If you don't actually do job costing, you don't know if those numbers were even right. If you do take care of job costing, then you can actually go back in, look at this estimate at line item for line item, and know, well, I need to adjust that. We need a couple more hours to install the cabinets, and we need we didn't budget enough for the materials on the flooring, so on and so forth. If you adjust that, you will slowly, eventually get your own system, your templates, and your account set up to where it will be. It's never going to be 100% accurate, but it's going to be very, very accurate because you can't control what happens on the job.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that being said,
That's yeah. Sorry. Good. That's definitely
that's
good.
about,
Good
all I
suggestion.
have, Jack. So
Yeah, I do have a couple of questions I wanted to that people have been chatting. I wanted to bring up. It looks like I got a lot of response in the chat about when you were talking about doing a webinar for how to avoid giving free estimates. So I think maybe that can be our next webinar. While I'm asking Wyatt some questions, feel free, anybody listening, to excuse me. Feel free to add in any other questions you have to the chat, and I'll try to bring them up. If you also have any ideas of ideas you'd want covered, we'll send out an email survey after this webinar. But you may also just add in anything that you want to the chat, and I'll mark that down. So it looks like maybe how to avoid giving free estimates might be a good topic for the next one. So a couple of questions. Yeah, go ahead.
So let me just touch on that real quick. We've already got the basement remodel plan, but I will spend some time in the beginning of our upcoming webinar showing a quick little process of how to do that. And I'd even be willing to share a few templates with you. So make sure you show up for that one, and I'll provide some good tools for you guys.
Great. So a couple of other questions that came up. Let me see here. Peter was asking sorry, hold on. I misread that. See if I can find. Yeah, Darren was asking if you had any recommendations on how to get some of that contract language to use in the proposals. So do you have any suggestions? Obviously you're in Minnesota. Do you have suggestions for how people can find that kind of language where they're located?
I'm sure we've got people from, it looks like from quite a bit, almost all over the country here. But again, become a member of your local builders association. That's a credibility thing for your clients, but they provide you with a lot of tools. The local builders association usually also makes you a member of your state and the NHB as well. So there's a couple tools there. Most states provide them. However, NAHB provides some documentation that you can purchase, and there's quite a few different places that if people are interested in finding more, I have a lot of language that I could share with people. But again, I'm not an attorney, and I can't be your attorney, so you've got to always seek out legal advice on that. But there's some of the language that I've got in here. Yes, it came from the BAM contract, but it's also come from learning the hard way over the years. And what you really need to do is it needs to be customized for you and your company. So
Right.
if we want to take that conversation offline, I can provide quite a few resources that you can actually purchase a templated version. Probably, I can't promise you I can find it for every single state, but I know of quite a few that are specific for individual states, and I know of a couple places you can get it that are kind of national and that may need to be customized. Now, every state has different lien laws and collecting money up front and so on and so forth. So
yeah,
that's
one thing I wanted to mention, as a couple of people have been asking about this in the chat as well, asking if what it would cost to have you help them through an estimate using Clear Estimates. So I just wanted to let everybody know that when we send out an email afterwards, we'll give you Wyatt's contact information, and you can get a hold of him. And like he said, he helps builders and remodelers. So you can get in contact with him, and he'll be glad to answer any questions and and all that stuff. Really quick, I am going to put up an offer, a little special thanks to everybody for coming to the webinar. We do have a deal available, and I put that up. You'll see it on your screen in just a second. So you can get 10% off clear estimates for the next 6 months. If you are not a customer, you just follow the link, and you'll be able to sign up for that. If you're already a customer, just go to the link. There's a coupon code in there, and just send me an email, and I'll be glad to help get you set up with that. So got a
Jack,
discount there. And then
so that. Go ahead, anything else? I'm going to cut you off. Are you finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
So on that note, you guys, I highly recommend it. If you're not already signed up, sign up. I think that comes with a 30-day trial. Is that right, Jack?
Yes. Yep.
30-day trial. Then you get 6 months discounted. You know, I think the regular price is $59 a month. What is $59 a month? If this software saves you, it can save your butt, but I can guarantee you that it'll save you that money tenfold if you use it properly. So my commitment to everybody is we will follow up with an email, and I will be providing an actual scheduling link that anybody on this webinar today, I will offer a 30-minute consultation where if you schedule the appointment through that with me through that scheduling link, I will spend 30 minutes with you talking about whatever it is you want to talk about, but also we can dive in and literally quickly customize a template for you within your account. We could create a job estimate probably in that amount of time, whatever it is you want to do. But something else I'm going to send out, we'll send out a link as well. You see this document that's on the screen now is if you are interested in working with me from kind of a higher level, this is this template is what I call, you know, basically my assessment. So you can go through and fill it out, and it'll kind of tell you, and you got to be honest, but it'll tell you from every different aspect of your business, from the financial to the sales side to the marketing, personnel, you know, how you handle your guys, to communications, that's with your employees, your subs, your vendors, your homeowners, the production side. I'm sure most of you guys kind of got the production dialed in, but there's some things that I can do for you that I do with my existing clients that literally helps them spend half the time they spend on a job. And what that ends up doing is it creates a little radar chart, and it tells you how you're performing. And what you want to see is you want to see an even thing. You know, most of you guys are going to be excelling in the production side, maybe struggling in the sales side. You know, everybody was interested in how to not give free estimates. You know, there's many different aspects to our construction companies. So, and I can help you with most of those things, and I'm willing to do that. So if anybody signs up through the email follow-up link, the scheduling link, I'll provide a 30-minute free consultation. We can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, jump right into clear estimates, and maybe get you up and running. Because I can assure you that if you sign up and then just don't do anything, you're not going to keep going, and it's going to be a waste of money. Even in the first 30 days, why even sign up if you're not going to use it? Yeah. But if you sign up, just literally dig in and do a quick job. You run into an issue, call Jack. You want some help, call me, you know, and we'll get you going, because I can promise you that it will be a tool that becomes invaluable to your business. Because I know I used to spend so much time estimating, and I really never even knew, was I accurate? Did I make money on that job? You know, you didn't really know how much was this. You know, it's just, it's not, you don't want to make it an estimate. You want to make a fixed price proposal, and that's what this will do for you.
Yeah.
So it's very accurate.
A couple more really quick questions. One is, you were talking about on the job site, if you don't have an internet connection, do you have any suggestions for that? Do you know, obviously you will need an internet connection to use clear estimates. If you do have a tablet, you can get one of those 4G iPads or tablets, so you can use it there, and it will work just fine through that. But do you have suggestions if you just cannot get internet on that?
So what I do for that situation, because it happens to me quite often here in my area, is I usually create the estimate in my office. And then once I've got that estimate done, I produce that contract, it's what's called the formal proposal, or the formal report, excuse me, which I consider my proposal / contract. I create it in a Word doc. And that way I can edit that Word doc on site as long as I've got a tablet or laptop that's got Microsoft Office, right? So that way, if they say, no, I don't want this, or if I've done components and alternates, we can add an alternate or take it off. I can do all that manually without internet right there. Now, that's not going to reflect in clear estimates, so you're going to have to make those adjustments once you get back to your office or have internet access. So you're going to be limited with what you can do within clear estimates, but you're not restricted because you just need to know ahead of time. So if you go out to a job and you want to do an estimate and you don't have clear estimates or don't have internet access, it's just not going to work. That functionality is just not there. It's a cloud-based software. But there's plenty that you can do, and I have a couple tools that I use that set me up to be able to do it's a rough estimate on site without internet. And I'm happy to share some of those things with you guys and show you my process of doing that if anyone's
Great.
interested.
Yeah, great, perfect. And another question we've got is you showed some of the excuse me, some of the cost versus value charts. Do you have a link for those, or are you going to be able to provide it looks like you had downloaded some of that stuff. Can you just talk about that resource that you had?
Yeah. So this resource here. Anybody that, now again, let me go, you can see this is an Excel spreadsheet that I've created with formulas, and I have it because I'm right here. If you look at my mouse, I'm right here in Duluth. And so I work in pretty much this area right here. So well into Wisconsin. So I have it created for Wisconsin as well. So if that tab opens up here, you can kind of see it's real small because I don't have it blown up. But I have this for all of the regions. So all you would have to do is click on the tabs down here on the bottom, and I know it's zoomed out, but anybody that schedules a consultation with me, I will provide this document free of charge, and I will train you on how to use that. So if I jump back to the actual cost versus value website, this is free information. So the link we will send in an email. But we did provide it in the chat window. I can do it one more time here, but this is a public website where everybody has access. I send my clients to it, and it's got national data right here, okay, for mid-range projects and for upscale projects. Okay, so I think there's like 38 different projects. It really covers the gamut. And now you can dive, like I said, you can dive down into your region depending on where you're located, and it'll actually adjust those numbers for your region. So if you're out in California or Hawaii, you guys just pay way too much for stuff out there. But I used to live in Oregon, so I know how it is. But anyways, it'll adjust the pricing for that. So let me show you one thing further. Again, if you don't have internet, you can actually, where to go? I think I clicked it on this. You can actually download. Excuse me, I'm jumping around here, guys. I apologize. There's a way. Where is it? I can download a PDF which has my region, my state, and my, let's see here, East, North, Central, West, North, Central, and then anyways, for me, it'll download a PDF actually to right here. So there's the cities. See, so the closest, largest metro area for me is Minneapolis. So I can click right there and I can download a PDF, which I use a presentation process that has call it a presentation, binary presentation process. It has all my systems and my processes in, and this document right here, hopefully it'll download quick enough with the internet. It makes you provide your information, so you've got so they can follow up with you and market to you, but
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah,
you get a PDF version of that, so you can show that to your clients, and it has It has the projects listed. I probably have it. If I could, give me 1 second. If everybody wants to hang on here, I can show you a quick example of it. But let's see here. So anyways, again, that's a valuable tool that's free. It's free for everybody. And I use it for a lot of reasons, because I use it for price conditioning. So instead of me coming out and surprising that customer with my big number, I let non-biased data precondition them to know that this is just what stuff costs. You know, this isn't my estimate. This is contractor's charge. So here is a copy of that PDF. Let me click one window. So this is the PDF download. You can see it's Minneapolis that I've downloaded, and it's most of that information right off the website. Okay, it describes the different projects. I'm not sure it has the photos, so you'd have to go online to find those photos, but it describes the different projects, and then it's actually got how that information is established, where it comes from. Here's the mid-range for Minneapolis. It's actually got those pricings. You can see that, where's that kitchen remodel that we did? So in Minneapolis, it's actually 64,000. It's actually more than what it is here in Duluth. So something else this does provide, so you may want to be aware of this as well, is its cost versus value. So I use it for price conditioning, but I like to come across as I am my client's consultant. So if they're thinking of doing a kitchen remodel to see whether or not to help them sell their home, you know, I tell them that, you know, kitchen remodels from a real estate or a buyer standpoint are the #1 selling point in a home. However, here's what it potentially could cost you, and here's in your region what you can expect to gain by, you know, as far as resale value. So you spend 64, you can expect to gain 43,000. Now that's just an average, but if their kitchen is in such disrepair that it's keeping their home from selling, that's probably a good investment, because they're not going to sell their home without it, right? So, but just know this might scare some customers off, and that is why I've actually created and customized my own template that doesn't, this one does, but the other one, which you can customize however you want, you can see all it shows is the cost. So I do it this way, because if they want to know that information, I'm happy to send them to the website. But I just want to talk about cost, because I use this as a tool for price conditioning. You know, for example, that they wanted to do all the bathroom and the kitchen, and they're thinking about doing their basement too. You know, that's just not realistic for, you know, if let's say their budget was even 100 grand. You gotta show them that that's probably not realistic, and don't come from a place of I'm telling you I can't do it for that much. Say it's not possible, because stuff just costs more.
Yeah, no, that's really great advice. And as a quick reminder, like Wyatt said, if you schedule a 30-minute consultation with Wyatt, he'll also provide you this information, as well as how to use it. So definitely suggest taking advantage of that 30-minute consultation you can get with Wyatt. A really quick question here: what was the program you were using for the Gantt charting?
That is a program called Builder Trend. Yep. And there's a few programs out there that do that. And Builder Trend is another very robust software program that I utilize. And let me get back to it here. The reason I use it, and again, this Builder Trend is, I don't get paid for telling you guys to use that, by no means at all. But there's other ones out there, such as what's it? Build Tools and Co-Construct, and there's a few others, but I've demoed them, and this is the one that I like. And again, if you're gonna use this software and it comes blank, you know, it comes with a lot of tools, but you need to be able to use it adequately. You got to get it set up with systems and templates, you know, with your selections and all the different the scheduling tools, and just how I use this. So I use use this as a sales tool. I use this as a project management tool. I use this as a communication tool. Again, I'm not trying to sell this to you because I don't get paid for it, but it's very, very useful. And if you're interested in taking a look at it, how I use it, again, just schedule a call with me and I can show you. And I have other Gantt tools that I can provide people too that are offline, that are Excel based.
Yeah.
That are project based. If people are not interested in Buildertrend, but again, not selling Buildertrend, but it's a very good tool that I use on every project. So.
Perfect. And just as a quick reminder to everybody, we're going to follow up to everyone who registered for this webinar with an email in the next day or two. And in that email, you will get a link to schedule a time to talk with Wyatt. So just take a look through your email. There's going to be a link regarding the recording of the webinar, as well as just a quick follow-up from us. And that will be where you can, excuse me, where you can schedule the time with Wyatt to do that. So just take a look for your email in the next couple days. Another question we've got from Joe. We still have quite a few people on here, so if you're still okay, Wyatt, we'll maybe just keep answering a few questions.
Yeah, I mean, I got an appointment coming up here in a half hour, but if everybody wants to stay that long, I'm happy to stay on. And
okay.
I just want to stress to everybody again, schedule an appointment with me. I'm not going to sell you anything. I'm just going to show you some of the processes and systems and tools that I use. And if you don't want to see that, we'll go dive right into Clear Estimates and I'll help you get your stuff set up free of charge.
Perfect.
And the thing about it is just I know the value of this stuff because trust me, I've done it the other way. And I've been in this industry for 25 years, owned my own company for 17, and I have learned the hard way and figured out what not to do. And I am very, very passionate about the tools and systems and the processes that I use today. It's so passionate that I became a consultant and work with other contractors, and I really do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun because of the value that these tools and systems bring to the lives of the guys that I work with. So
great.
Shoot with the other questions.
Yeah, we've got Joe asking about how you might suggest handling travel for their work. For example, staying in hotels, flights, etc. Do you include those as line items on the proposal? Do you mark them up? Things like that.
That's a good question. Now, to answer the last part, I recommend you mark everything up, and there's a few reasons why. You know, I can go into details as I love the old saying, there's as many ways to do it as there are guys doing it. And that is 100% the truth. Everybody has their own method. I'm not even sitting here telling you that the way I do it is the best way, because I'll tell you what, I take on a contractor client and start working with him, and almost always I learn something from him. And I learned one of his processes is very unique that is just awesome, and I adapt to that process. So some of what my total processes is not something I invented or created necessarily. It's been adapted from years of doing it myself, having my own company, working with other contractors, seeing the best ways from some of the industry elites. So as far as travel costs, I'm not exactly sure what he's referring to there. But if you're going quite a ways, you know, to do an estimate or anything like that, you know, again, you should be charging for estimates, and there's a way to make sure that you can get paid for that. Because if you're going to drive, let's say, an hour or 2 hours to go give a free estimate, I just don't do it. Yeah, I mean, at this point in your business,
like hotels and flights. So I'm not sure if he's doing projects that are maybe farther away or anything, but that's what it seems like he was looking for.
Yeah, anything that can be billed directly to a specific job should become part of your estimate. And because, I mean, that's really a tough question to ask, because I'm not sure. I mean, is he traveling and doing estimating for a national company, you know, or how exactly is that? But if he's traveling for the company, that company's probably going to pay those expenses, you know, and he'd be reimbursed or such. If you're the owner,
says their company just does work all over the country. So
yeah.
You know, it sounds like
there's ways to put that
in there.
Yeah, there's ways to put that. You could literally build a travel template right into Clear Estimates, and know that, you know, your hotels and you can obviously every hotel cost can be different, but you could create a template that you could just adjust each time, and it would just automatically populate that. You could add that template to an estimate, and that template could become part of a bigger and broader estimate. So absolutely, there's 100% ways to do it, and you gotta get paid for what you do. I charge for everything. So no matter what, I mean, this is what we do for a living. We're professionals, just like attorneys, just like lawyers, and we should get paid accordingly. We really are. I mean, you think about, for me, I don't have a degree, a college degree, but I've got, like I said, I got my degree from School of Hard Knocks, and I've got 27 years in the industry, and that's a lot of education. That's a lot of experience that I bring to the table, and I'm sure some of you guys have more. So you need to get paid for what you do. Don't give away your knowledge and experience for free. And I'm so against giving free estimates, and some people just do it as a sales tool. But feel free to do it however you want. But if you want to do it, you want to stop giving free estimates, come talk to me. I'll show you how.
Great, great. Yeah, and like I said, we will definitely be adding that to our webinar list of how you can avoid giving free estimates. Okay, I don't want to use too much of Wyatt's time. We don't want to back him up right to his next, excuse me, next meeting. But let's see. I think the moral of that was, you are an expert in your field, and you should be charging for everything that you do. There's no reason to give away free work here. Let's see. I just want to let everybody know that we do have tutorial videos and support available for all the stuff that was in Clear Estimates. I know we kind of went pretty quick through Clear Estimates itself in this webinar. This was really meant to be more of a high-level view of it rather than a tutorial on how to use Clear Estimates. So if you do have specific questions about that, I'm here to help, and we do have tutorial videos on that. I'm not
Hey,
really
Jack.
getting any other questions.
Let me just
Yeah, go ahead, Wyatt.
let me just touch on that real quick. So the biggest thing for me, and obviously we're all different, but I'm probably more like you guys than you would think. I used to wear the tool belt. I used to work on, I was a framer at first, and I mean, I've been through the trenches. So when I start using software, and I can promise you that when I started using it, it literally looked Greek to me. Like I mean, I couldn't figure it out, and it was really challenging. And the way I learn, and actually the whole reason I created this whole design stuff was so you guys could really see things. And I know we didn't go into a lot of details with Clear Estimates and on the project, but we will in upcoming webinars. But the way I learn, and you've got my commitment that I'll help you do it this way too, if that's the way you learn, is don't go in and try to learn the software. Go in and use the software. So if you've got a job, whether it's a bathroom remodel, an addition, a whole house remodel, an exterior, whatever your project is, I'm offering that 30 minutes. I can promise you that we can probably most likely get a good portion of your estimate created in 30 minutes. That's how easy this software is to use. So then you and I doing that together, you will see the tool, the software in action, instead of fumbling around and trying to figure out what is this and how does this work and how does this part pertain to that and so on and so forth. You see your actual project being estimated, and then you see the specifications that it produces and so on and so forth. You will see the value in this tool. Now, again, there's tons of customization that may be required, but the software comes preloaded with so much data, so much information, and multiple templates that depending on what you're doing, if you're a residential remodeling company, this is the tool you should be using.
Yeah, that's a great point. Wyatt is I would definitely, I as many of you know, I'm the customer support person here, and so I'm talking to all of you on a day-to-day basis, and for sure I think the most successful people who try to learn this is is by actually using it. Taking an old estimate or an estimate that you do all the time, you know, if you're always doing kitchen or bath or deck or whatever the case may be, remodels, you know, running through an example, because you know roughly what it's going to cost. You've got so much experience, and so running through it with clear estimates will definitely give you a really good you know, sense of how it works, and then from there you can work on customizing it and making sure that it fits. You know, like Wyatt said, he can help set you up with templates and whatnot and clear estimates. Also, when you sign up and when you're a customer, we do offer a 30-minute walkthrough as well. So you can get on the phone. I can log onto your screen and point you through the exact steps on how to do something. I'll answer your specific questions. So there are a lot of good resources available for helping you get started. I want to take just a second to thank Wyatt for spending the time on doing this webinar. We're looking forward to some more webinars coming up, especially the basement one, which will hopefully be in maybe 3 or 4 weeks. We'll schedule that and send out an email to everybody, and then we'll also be doing that, you know, avoiding free estimates webinar coming up as well. So thanks a lot, Wyatt. I know I'm getting a lot of thanks in the chat, so I know everybody really appreciates the time you put into creating this, and it seems like it was very helpful for everybody.
Yeah, I'm just sharing that remodel, the
Perfect.
cost versus value link one more time for everybody. Yeah, thank you guys for showing up, and again, you know, we'll dive into cover any details you want. We do have the next webinar kind of lined out, but I will, because there was so many questions on that, I'll take the first few minutes and I'll just show you my process and how not to give free estimates, and we'll run through that. But then again, this is you know, some people want to see the estimating software, so we're going to show you, and I'll try to show you different aspects of it each time. But again, we want your feedback, so please take a look at that email. You know, do the survey for us, so we can get that information from you, so we can provide you guys with what you want. And then again, follow up with me if you want, and I will dig in, and we will price, you know, spend 30 minutes with you and do an estimate. If you need more time beyond that, we'll have to talk, but you got my commitment to everybody that signs up, that I'll give you 30 minutes doing whatever it is you want to do. So I would look forward to talking to anybody. So thanks, Jack, and thanks everybody for showing up, and we'll see you next month. You should get a link here within a few days with the upcoming webinar, and probably sometime today for the follow-up links of everything. Does that work for you, Jack?
Yep. Yeah. So there'll be an automatic link coming out in the next few hours for the recording, so you can view that. And then we'll also be glad to we'll be sending out that email with the survey and the links for Wyatt coming up as well. So thanks again to everybody. If you need more information, you can head to our website, www.clearestimates.com. Eventually, the webinar will be posted on there as well. If you follow us on Twitter, we'll also be posting about new features in the software, as well as blog posts and upcoming webinars. So feel free to follow us on Twitter, and you can stay up to date on what we're doing. If you go to the bottom left of the clearestimates.com website, that is our Twitter feed as well, so you can follow us there. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me, jack@clearestimates.com, and I will be more than happy to help. I'll stay on for a couple of minutes just to see if anybody has any questions, but thank you very much, Wyatt, and thanks for everybody who showed up. Appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you, Jack.
Thanks. Bye.